Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's rule is this, that to establish His deen in this world, from amongst the humans and the angels, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala selects. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not choose someone because of his capabilities of having wealth or intellect, but the work that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes, He takes based upon the qualities of acceptance. The worldly works are done through experiences, but the works of deen are done through qualities. The worldly jobs are done through experiences, but the works of deen are done through qualities. So those who do the work of deen, they get accepted by Allah. And Allah picks people, chooses people, and then sends them to do the work of His deen. This is why it is important that we get ourselves accepted in this effort. One is called nisbat. That somebody has nisbat with the effort of tabligh. One is called munasabat. We'll explain these words inshallah. For example, husband and wife have a relationship. There's a certain kind of relationship between husband and wife. This relationship is called nisbat. But if the temperament does not match, then that means that the munasabat has not been created. Then what happens? If the munasabat does not build between them because of the mismatch of temperaments, then their relationship breaks. They have nisbat through marriage. The marriage itself creates the nisbat, the connection, that she is the wife and this is the husband. They are now connected to each other. But there was no munasabat amongst them. Then what happens? Differences come amongst them and their relationship breaks. So this is an example. So one is having nisbat with the work of Dawah, where we are connected to the effort, and one is called munasabat. So nisbat is such a thing that it doesn't remain. But munasabat is that which remains. Munasabat means the munasabat is that we have love with this effort. The real thing in this work is steadfastness, istiqamat, steadfastness, and munasabat. Munasabat is that we do the work and Allah takes work from me. So this is why I mentioned that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala selects people to do His work. And for this acceptance, the base requirements are those sifat. The people who do this work, they need a very deep connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those people who do this work, they need a deep connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because upon this relationship, we will connect others to Allah. This is why the Prophet had two works to do. One was the connection with the creation of Allah, and one connection with the Creator, meaning Allah Himself. That through the connection with Allah, they used to connect the people to Allah. Now he's translating.
Sampaikan bahwa menjadi komitmen Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala bahwa untuk menghidupkan manusia di atas permukaan bumi ini, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala selalu memilih dari kalangan malaikat dan manusia pilihan. Allah Subhanahu wa taala akan menggunakan mereka untuk agamanya.
The answer is
Allah Subhanahu wa taala.
This is the Indonesian, huh?
Siapa yang akan Allah pilih?
yes, so now it's bigger chunks.
Dakwah ini
Big amount he will talk and a big amount he will translate.
bukan kode.
So we don't have to say
Kapasitas
why we talk.
kehidupan. Bukan itu yang dijadikan oleh Allah Subhanahu wa taala sebagai aturan, sebagai alasan untuk menerima, untuk memilih seorang hamba untuk beribadah. Tapi itu Allah Subhanahu wa taala sendiri yang akan memilih. Maknanya adalah pemilihan. Orang-orang yang telah diterima oleh Allah Subhanahu wa taala itulah yang akan bisa buat kerja agama, usaha agama, masyarakat, kehidupan agama di atas pilihan.
Sabbat and discipline.
Nah, siapa yang akan Allah terima? Orang-orang yang punya sifat. Orang-orang yang punya sifat itulah yang akan diterima oleh Allah Subhanahu wa taala. Bukan orang yang bukan. Tapi orang-orang yang punya sifat mereka akan diterima oleh Allah.
Through the help of Allah. Just like the works of dunya cannot happen without Allah's help, how can the work of deen happen without the help of Allah? So the work will be done through the help of Allah. What are the means through which we will get this help? If a person does not adopt the means through which he gets the help of Allah, he will get exhausted and say, this is not for us, it's too much. This is why to do this work you need to adopt the means through which you will get the help of Allah. What are these means? The biggest means to get the help of Allah, the biggest means to get the help of Allah, it is the ittiba' of the sunnats of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. It is the obedience of the practices of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Because the awe and the power through which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helped this work, that power is placed in the sunnahs of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. The strength of the effort is in the sunnahs of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. If you do not do this work according to sunnah, then it is tanzeem. What is the translation of tanzeem? Political group. It is just a group. So the work of da'wat will be done through the obedience of the sunnah. The work of da'wat will only be done through the obedience of the sunnah. This is why success, when the Sahaba were struggling to gain victory over the enemies, they were concerned that we are on haqq, they are on batil. Why, even though the promises of Allah are there, why are we not gaining victory? When they pondered and they really thought and looked deep into it, they found that the miswak, sunnat of miswak was missing. So when they implemented the practice of miswak, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put the awe and the effect of the sunnat into the hearts of the enemy. And their hearts were overpowered with the fear. So those people, think about it, how those people who were not being overpowered by the swords, how were they being overpowered by a miswak? This is something to think over. That Allah put the effect of the sunnat into their hearts. The Sahaba, they did miswak. The enemies, they fled. So I'm telling you, the effect of the power of Islam and the help in Islam is on the obedience of the sunnats. After you say the maqsad of this work is ihya sunnat. So the people doing this effort, the more they are particular about the sunnahs of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the more the help of Allah they will get in this effort. Translation. It is important in every aspect of deen, in worship, in marriages. So the Ma'asharat of Islam is practical. People used to come into the fold of Islam through the way of Ma'asharat, social living. The bringing people into Islam was, the means of this was not the sword, but it was the Islamic Ma'asharat. Hazrat Rahmatullah used to say, the way for people to come into the fold of Islam today, it will be the personal lives of those people who do this effort. And the people will leave based on the personal lives of the people who do this effort. So the people will move away from this effort also because of the same, because of the corrupted lives of the people who do this effort. So the real thing is the ittiba of the sunnat. Just like the obedience to sunnat is important in our worship and in our masharat, it is as important or the more important in our dawat, because dawat is the greatest sunnat. Just like there are sunnats for worship, for eating, for marriages, there are sunnats for dawat as well. And the first sunnat of dawat is that the people who do this effort, they should have a mumiyat in their temperament, in their mizaj. Mumiyat means that they should have the whole world, the whole of mankind in front of them when doing this effort. If a person does not have this intention and he bases an effort on, and he limits his effort to language or nationality, then this will not be the effort of Sayyidul Anbiya. One is the effort of the Anbiya, one is the effort of Sayyidul Anbiya. So you will limit yourself to the effort of the Anbiya, you will not be on the effort of Sayyidul Anbiya. Because all of the Muslims scattered throughout the entire world are all part of one body. If there are Muslims in America, they are part of the same body. In Europe there is a Muslim, he is a part of the same body and part of the same Islam. Mentioned in the hadith to this effect, that the Ummah is one body. No matter where they are scattered throughout the whole world. If one country is not concerned about the lack of deen of another country, then it is like the foot is disconnected from the body. But you will find that when there is pain in the foot, the whole body takes effect from this. So there is a huge amount of broadness in this effort. So this is why you find in Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, in his dawat, he encompassed everyone. So you will find that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he accommodated every kind of person through his merciful behavior, through his forgiveness. He did not limit his effort to a particular kind of people or a particular temperament of people. The broadness of the effort was even felt by those who wanted to kill Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Even they felt and saw the amount of forgiveness he had, even though there were differences amongst them. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had such behavior towards those who were beyond his own tribe and background. How much would he have for his own people? So that was his temperament, his behavior towards his people. What about the limit of, as they say, the ground of effort? Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam did not consider anybody low and insignificant that he did not give dawah to any people. Utbah ibn Shayba, I think he was the owner of the garden in which Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam took refuge when he was chased out of Taif. So then when the slave approached Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he gave dawah to him also. And he wasn't a normal slave, he was the lowest of the lowest slaves. He was actually one of those slaves that was split between two owners. And that kind of slave is considered the lowest of slaves. But when he came to Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam gave dawah to him. So there is umumiyat in the dawah of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And there is broadness in his dawah. He did not limit his dawah to certain kinds of people. So we also need to do the same. We give dawah to the khawas, the special kind of people. But we have to get engrossed and involved in the common, amongst the common people, the common Muslims, and give dawah. The batil, the effort of the batil is actually on the common people. The effort of batil is actually on the common people. That's where we need to concentrate more on our effort on the common people, not on the khawas. Ghurbat, fursat and jahalat are the three means of the decline of this ummah. Because of jahalat, ignorance, they will start leaving the fold of Islam. The batil will use wealth to attract those who are involved in ghurbat, in poverty. They will attract them towards their ways. And fursat, free time, the batil will use the free time of the ummah to consume their time. And this effort is made on the common people. So we need to make effort on the common people. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's real sunnat of dawat was that he would make effort on the common people. Because the poor people, the poverty-stricken people, make effort amongst them. Those who are struggling in terms of finance. In Hadith al-Qudsi mentions, while Allah is saying in Hadith al-Qudsi, that search for me amongst the poor people. Today, unfortunately, the Puranas, the old workers, they gather more. Whereas they need to scatter out more, they need to scatter themselves in the effort. Instead of they keep gathering and keep gathering, this will create fitna and problems amongst themselves. But rather, the Puranas should scatter themselves out to make effort amongst the common people. If the Puranas stop making effort on the common people and on new people, and they just keep gathering amongst themselves, then there will be ikhtilaf, differences that were created amongst them, and they will argue and they will fight. So this is the sunnat of dawat that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when the new people used to come, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam would hand them over to the old workers, the old Sahaba, and then they would the workers would teach them deen. Otherwise, if you leave making effort amongst the common people, amongst the new people, then the batil's effort will continue on them, and we will just be busy fighting amongst ourselves. Is that clear? It's a tough one. Yes. The more you have to make yourself small to do it. And whichever works are small, people make themselves big to do it. For example, if the world had a value in the eyes of Allah more than the wing of a mosquito, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would not give a drop of water to a disbeliever. This is how small the dunya is. This is the smallness of the dunya. This is the disgraceful reality of the world. The works of dunya are done by becoming big. The kings have to lead the world. The king of the country, the king of two countries, the king of the half the world, the king of the world. So small things are done by becoming big. And the big things, deen and dawat, these great works are done by becoming small. If a person whoever does the opposite, then he'll become deprived. I said it wrong. Whoever does big work by becoming big, then he'll become deprived of it. You have to keep yourself small to do the great work. This is why in the qualities of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the most important quality was tawazu, lowering yourself. He lowered himself. And you will find the same tawazu in the Khulafa Rashidin, the Khalifas, the leaders that came after him. Tawazu. Such tawazu they had, meaning lowering themselves. They had this such tawazu they had, that Abdullah ibn Masud would say that I prefer that instead of people call me Ibn Masud, I prefer they call me Ibn Rawsa, son of the cow dung. I prefer they call me this instead. But I prefer that instead people call me Abdullah ibn Masud, I prefer they call me Ibn Rawsa. And then because of this name, Allah forgive one of my sins, then I prefer this name. That because of someone calling me that name, Allah forgives a sin of mine, then I would prefer this than to be called Ibn Masud. Mukhlisin are those who hide themselves in this work. People of Riya, show, are those who don't do the work, but they want that their name become famous. That they want praise and they want fame. And the mukhlisin are those who hide their work and their name. They don't show their work. So one sifat is tawazu. That a person for the great work that he's doing should lower himself. And dunya, on the other hand, is the smallest thing. The works of dunya are therefore done by becoming big. The kings. But in deen there is tawazu. That one woman, she would say to Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, she would hold the hand of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and say, come with me, I need you to help me do something. And he would go. He would go. Such a great work that he was sent for, but how small he kept himself. Abu Bakr radhiyallahu anhu, when he was made Khalifa, when he was made Amir al-Mu'mineen, one girl said to him, that you become Amir al-Mu'mineen, who is going to milk our goats now? Before you were a common person and you used to milk our goats, now you become big Amir al-Mu'mineen. Abu Bakr, he heard this, he overheard this conversation. Then he said, no, I am the same Abu Bakr as before. Bring me the goats and I will milk just as I used to do yesterday. This is tawazu. The person does not consider himself big. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was given the option that you can either become a king and do the effort in nubuwwat, or you can become a poor person, a fakir, and then do the work, do the effort. He didn't say yes. Let me take all the leadership and the wealth and the power, then I'll do the work. No. He lived his entire life in poverty, in debt, died in the same way. When he left Makkah, he was in debt. He even did not take from the people that I'm doing great work, give me this and give me that. Subhanallah. But he said that the work of da'wah that you do from the wealth of others, that effort is without any effect at all. There's no effect in that effort. The da'wah that you do on the wealth of others has no effect in it. Because one of the things of qurbani and sacrifice is that your own wealth. So, tawazu. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam preferred the nubuwwat of poverty and hunger. He didn't go for the nubuwwat of while being a king. So he preferred the nubuwwat of poverty. One day I have nothing to eat, and one day I get something to eat. When I don't have it, I ask from Allah, I beg from Allah. And when I have something to eat, I do shukr that Allah has given me this. This is the tawazu of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So this work will be done through tawazu, because this work is not through giving commands, rather it is done through khushamat. Khushamat? Kisi ki khushamat karna. Khushamat, when you're pleading to someone in a positive, in a nice manner, please, being lenient and soft towards someone in your approach, pampering someone. So you have to have tawazu. One of the meanings of the hadith of tawazu is that those people who do the work of tawazu, Allah will take work from them. And Allah will elevate them. Meaning that Allah will take great work from them. So the great works are done through tawazu. Allah will elevate a person. Meaning, Allah will take great work from him. This was the tawazu of the Khulafa Rashidin because of the sohbat, the closeness that they had with Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So we need to understand how the Sahaba used to take benefit from those who were below them, and how they were greedy for the amal of those who were below them. Umar radiallahu anhu and Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu, these both Hazrat, they were leaving after doing tawaf of Baytullah. They were doing tawaf and they were coming out of the boundaries. One person, he had his mother on his back and he was coming to do tawaf. So they said to each other that, look, this person is going to do tawaf of his mother like this. And because of this khidmat, because of the mother hanging on his back, so much rahmat will come upon this person. Special mercies and rahmah will come upon him. Let's do tawaf behind this person to take benefit and to request him for dua. Common person. We go for dua to the big mashayikh, the buzurg, the awliya, the ulama. But what did they do? Abu Bakr and Umar, that the best people of the world in the era, Amirul Mu'mineen, Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu, he's walking behind some common person, so that the rahmat and the mercies that come down on this person, that maybe some splashes will come onto us. And Umar was saying, make dua for me also. Make dua for me also. That your dua is being accepted because of this khidmat that you are doing. Make dua. And he made dua. He made dua for Whereas the status of Abu Bakr and Umar, the status is so high we cannot imagine. It's unusual for us. But Aisha is looking at the stars at night and she's seeing the dark sky and the sky full of stars. Not what we see in these polluted skies, but in the dark skies, so many stars. And as Aisha is asking that can anybody have virtues equivalent to the number of stars in the night sky? Is there anybody in this world who can have virtues equivalent to the number of stars in the sky? Nabi Sallallahu mentioned, so Aisha, that these many virtues are of Umar. So she became pareshan, worried, pareshan. See that how, if these many virtues are with Umar, then if nobody can have more virtues, then what about my father, Abu Bakr? So she became worried. So then Nabi Sallallahu said that you must be thinking about the virtues of your father. And he said that these many virtues of your father are just for one night. The number of stars that you're seeing, these many virtues are for your father just for one night. This level of people, imagine now, such level of people, but what are they doing? They are including themselves in the dua of a common person. And to take benefit from the mercies descending upon this common person, what they're doing, even after coming out of the mataf, they're going back into the mataf to do tawaf behind this person. That those people who are searching for goodness, they will search for goodness like this in this manner. And those who have takabbur, those who have pride in them, they will look down upon someone like this and they will move on. They will not take benefit from a person like this. But those who have tawazu, that tawazu will make them take benefit from common people like this as well. Things are very important. One is wusat, broadness in the effort of the da'i. This means that make your temperament, your mizaj, to travel with all kinds of people. This is wusat. Make your temperament, make your desire to travel with every kind of person. Because if you only go with Puranas, not go out with Puranas, sounds wrong. If you only go with Puranas, then you won't have the desire for ikram in you. One Sahabi was told, O Aqsam, go with people in the path of Allah outside of your qawm, outside of your tribe, then your akhlaq will improve. So the Karkunan, the word he used, the Puranas, if people, they only travel amongst themselves, then the effort will be limited only to the Tablighi people. Then through this only a group will be made, not an ummat. Through Dawah we need to create an ummat, not a group. Short one.